Step 1. Set up an area where you can blow dust. You will be using compressed air and a vacuum to remove the majority of the dust from the inside of your computer. So set up an area that you can blow dust out without worrying about getting other things dirty. A garage or workbench is a good choice. Or you can go outside if it's a dry day. Try to set up a table so that you can easily access the computer without having to bend over or set it on the ground.
Step 2. Gather your supplies. You will need a Phillips screwdriver, compressed air, either in a can or via compressor, a small vacuum that can fit in narrow crevices, a toothbrush, and 99% isopropyl alcohol. Do not use an old vacuum with a metal tip, as these are usually poorly grounded and can damage your components. The best option is a newer handheld vacuum with an extendable plastic hose. The toothbrush should have soft bristles and should be new. Step 3. Power down the computer and unplug all of the peripherals. Shut down the computer and disconnect all of the cables on the back. Make sure that the monitor is unplugged and that any USB cables, Ethernet cables, speaker cables, or anything else is unplugged as well. Flip the switch on the power supply and then remove the power cable.
Step 4. Set the computer on each side. Place the computer on each side on your table or workbench. Make sure that the connectors on the back are laying closest to the surface. These connectors are attached to the motherboard and can help you ensure that you remove the correct side panel.
Step 5. Remove the side panel. Remove the screws that hold the side panel in place. These screws can be found along the back of the computer. Most modern cases have thumb screws that you can remove without tools, though you may need to use the screwdrivers for older cases or thumb screws that are too tight. Set the screws aside so that you don't lose them.
Step 6. Do an initial vacuum. Depending on how long it's been in your environment, you could be greeted by a pretty gruesome sight. Dust has a tendency to collect and cake on your components, and the entire inside may be covered in a fine layer of gray. Use your vacuum cleaner to do a pass over the interior, sucking up the large bits of dust from the components and the crevices. Be careful not to strike any of the components with the vacuum tip as you move it across the interior. Many components inside are very fragile, and bent pins and connectors can render your hardware useless.
Step 7. Use the compressed air to blow dust out of crevices. Take your can of compressed air or air compressor and blow out the hard-to-reach crevices. Use the vacuum to help reduce the amount of dust that scatters in puffs. Avoid long sustained blasts, as this will make your can of compressed air too cold to hold. Don't blow your compressed air on your fans. Blowing on the fans can make them spin faster than they are designed to, potentially damaging them.
Step 8. Clean the fans with a vacuum and alcohol. Use the vacuum to remove the large amounts of dust on the fan blades. Dip your toothbrush into the alcohol and gently scrub the dust that remains off of the blades. Be able to access the fans easier if you remove them first. You will need to remove the screws that secure the fan to the chassis, and then disconnect the cable that connects the fan to the motherboard. Make sure that you note where the fan was plugged in so that you can easily reconnect it when you're finished cleaning. Make sure to attach the fan in the same direction that it was originally installed. Fans blow in one direction, and reversing the direction of airflow can significantly impact the cooling of your machine. Most fans have an arrow printed on the top of the housing that includes which way it blows.
Step 9. Remove components for deep cleaning, while a general vacuum and dusting is usually sufficient for basic cleaning. You'll want to remove individual components to really get them sparkling again. Make sure that you are properly grounded before touching any of the internal components. When you remove the components, set them on an anti-static surface or rubber. You can remove the graphics card by removing the screws that secure it to the case, releasing the tab underneath and then gently pulling it straight out.
Step 10. Dust all of the grates. Depending on your case, you may have some grates for fans and airflow. Use your compressed air to blow out from the inside of the case and then run a feather duster over the grate from the outside.
And there you have it! A quick and simple guide to keep your computer clean. Repeat this on a regular basis and your PC will thank you by being cleaner, cooler, and faster. A clean computer is a happy computer. We hope you found this video helpful. Don't forget to share, like, and subscribe. See you next time!